Good morning, guys. Thought I would give you guys an update on a couple things with the camper and also with towing our tow vehicle. So this trip we ended up towing with our Tacoma. This is a 2018. We did put a lift and level on this a while back. The only thing that we did have to do was wire it for trailer brakes. But yeah, we had our trailer, our camper, and our Bronco sitting in front of our house, and somebody went by and hit both. So our Bronco is in the shop getting fixed. The camper thankfully survived with minimal cosmetic damage, but in the meantime we wanted to get up here and camp, so we got the trusty Tacoma out here. This thing is actually rated for, I want to say 6,800 pounds, whereas the Bronco is rated for 35. That trailer dry weight is just under 2,400 pounds. So first time towing the Aliner with the Tacoma, and it was nice actually. I think just because the tow vehicle, with it being, you know, like the longer truck, it was just a little bit of a nicer, smoother ride than the Bronco. But we do a lot of off-roading or rough roads when we are out here, so although the Tacoma does a great job as well, the shorter wheelbase of the Bronco is typically what we're going for, which is why we like to tow with that. So at this point with the camper, I wanted to talk about a couple things that maybe you should consider if you're going to get an Aliner. It's awesome, for the record. We still love it, but there's just a couple of, maybe, I don't know if they're gripes, that I feel like you guys should be aware of if you're going to get one. So first, before I say any of those, I do want to preface it by saying in October, when I'm filming this, we've had this trailer for about a year. And in that year, we have, you know, like, we're just actually ending an entire week of camping. So we've been in this thing for a week now. And over the year, we've probably camped, I don't know, close to 30 times. We take it up over the weekend a lot and just camp out here. We're in the gorgeous sand wash basin, Colorado right now. We were going to go to a couple of national parks, but all of the ones that we were interested in are impacted due to the government shutdown. So we adjust. That's not a big deal. But we've had this thing for about a year, and we're not using it lightly. We're using it pretty heavy. We're out often. I would say in that year there's probably close to 30 times and definitely lots of miles on it. Probably either 3 to 4 week-long camping trips we've taken in it. So we're using it quite a bit. So some of the stuff that I'm mentioning, I'm not sure if this would impact people who don't use their camper as much as we use ours. But one thing that I do kind of feel like with the Aliner, I love the design of this camper. But there's just a few things that are kind of like irritants with it. I'm gonna go just so you can see a little bit better. So one thing is like these cabinets, which again, we're kind of in rough terrain, but these cabinets, it's such a good design, but the materials used are just so cheap. Like this hinge, the hinge is broken, so this thing, I gotta go back and like fix them, but it's not connected down here anymore. So that's just something, and that's not new. That's been like that. Something else that we're kind of starting to deal with is just like a bow or a bend on this. So this should be straight. You can kind of see that like bend or bow, and because of that, it's kind of causing like this flat lid piece to bow. Which that's just kind of frustrating because that really needs to sit like that, and it did sit like that initially. I feel like every time we stop, we are fixing these little rivets. I mean, almost every time we drive, they're popping out and going all over the place. And I think I had said in an earlier video that we had to fix the hinge where the door was. That hinge is now totally broken. And again, please keep in mind, we're driving, I don't know if you could see it right there. We're driving like pretty rough roads or pretty rough terrain, but this is a brand new camper and we bought it 1 year ago. So that's also a little bit frustrating, is that it's just kind of wearing out with things that I don't really feel like should be worn out. It just shows that it's kind of made with, you know, like cheaper materials that we're going to have to figure out a solution for. There's already a lot of things that we've kind of worked through to figure out solutions for, and we'll figure out something for this soon. But it's just, you know, when you have a camper, you don't want to spend as much time fixing it as you are using it, right? Like, you want to go out and enjoy it. So here's one more thing that I want to mention. Underneath the camper is the water reservoir. It's a 35-gallon water reservoir, but the pump, which the water pump is right down here, these switches, the pump is not located at the bottom of the reservoir. It's located on the side. And what ends up happening with that is that the camper, when you have that reservoir full, you end up with, we're estimating about 10 to 11 gallons of water that the pump cannot grab. So when you turn the pump on in here, because the pump is located on the side of the reservoir, the water reservoir underneath, the pump can't grab that water. So you end up with, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but can you see that water line? That white part is the water reservoir, and the water line is about 2 inches from the bottom. But if I go inside and I turn that water, so we have plenty of water. That's about 10 to 11 gallons. If I go inside and I turn the water on, the pump won't grab that water because of where it's located. So we're actually going to need to figure out a solution to kind of move that pump, because we've been out here for a week, and we still have that much water left, as you saw down there. But a temporary solution, when the pump won't take it and grab it for inside, is to crawl underneath it and pour it into one of these. Now, we've only had to do that today, and we're actually leaving today. So technically we've gotten through, what is that, 7 days of that not being an issue. There's 2 of us, 2 adults and a couple of dogs, but so it hasn't been an issue that whole time. But that is kind of a big gripe. So if anyone from Aliner is listening or paying attention, y'all need to relocate where that pump grabs the water from the reservoir so that we, your consumers, can use the full 35 gallons of water that this comes with. I feel like it's shortchanging us by, you know, at least 10 gallons. There's another little gripe that I have that I just want you guys to be aware of if you buy one of these. This is not I don't feel like any of the things that I'm mentioning are deal breakers. I love this camper and we love camping in it, but one of the things that drives me crazy is I also like to be clean, and this drives me crazy, this area in the roof. So what happens is this strap sometimes is either in or out. When you fold this up, it gets dirty and it like leans up against the roof. So I am constantly cleaning this area, and it does clean up. But because of the way it folds down, and because this strap gets dirty, and then this piece actually lays on another outdoor piece, which again, it's an outdoor piece when it's unfolded. So like it gets dirt, and I understand that. And this might not be a big deal to some people, but for me, it does actually drive me insane. So I have to come up and clean this stuff up pretty often. With that said, we're a year on in this thing, and I love this camper. Like, I know that I just mentioned some gripes, some complaints with it. So it might sound like I'm being negative. I'm just telling you guys stuff that maybe you should be aware of if you want to buy one of these. But like, I love it. I still love it. This camper is awesome. We just spent a week in it, and I sleep so much better out here. We did replace the mattress. That's in a prior video, and it's linked in that prior video. So definitely check that out if you're interested in the mattress option. But the temperature out here for this week, it's been between like 20s at night to like highs of, you know, maybe like 60s in the daytime. So it's not the warmest. And something that's kind of nice right now is that this thing has, it's cold at night, and this thing has the propane heat, and you can also heat with the generator. And this has been a great generator for us. There's been a few nights where with the solar, or a couple days kind of like this day where it's not getting a full charge for solar, so we've had to use that generator in the evening. It'll charge it back up, and then while you have the generator going, you can use the electric heat instead of propane. So it's just nice that you could do either or. But anyway, that was a quick video just telling you guys a few things that maybe you should be aware of if you're going to get one of these. Like I said, none of the things I mentioned are deal breakers in my opinion. They're little annoyances that probably every camper has, and you would have to deal with one way or another. But yeah, we're a year out in this A-liner. We still love it. If you check out one of our earlier videos, you can see some of our tips and tricks of things that we've done to make life easier in the camper. But that's what we have so far. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. We appreciate you guys. Have a good one.